As the plane descended, Samuel Okafor stared out the window at the country he had left behind decades ago. Lagos sprawled beneath him, a chaotic web of lights and movement, unchanged yet foreign. He adjusted the warm collar of his borrowed jacket, a stark contrast to the designer suits he once wore. The immigration officer barely glanced at his travel-worn passport before stamping it with finality. Deported. The word echoed in Samuel's mind like a gavel hitting a judge's desk. For 20 years, he had lived in opulence in the United States. He owned businesses, drove the latest cars, and lived in mansions. He had sent money home to his family, his parents, his siblings, and even some distant relatives. But as time passed, the calls became less frequent, and the warm welcome in their voices turned transactional. They spoke of school fees, hospital bills, and house repairs, never once asking how he was. Still, he gave. Then came the scandal. A business deal gone sour. Betrayal from a trusted friend. Investigations. Freezing of assets. And finally, deportation. His fortune gone, his reputation in ruins, Samuel had no choice but to return to the place he once called home, but now, he wasn't sure if it would still feel like home. He stepped out of the airport, inhaling the thick humid air that smelled of petrol and roasting plantains. The crowd bustled around him, people shouting in Yoruba, Igbo, and Pidgin. His heart pounded as he hailed a taxi, giving the driver an address he had memorized but never once visited. His family had moved into the house he built for them with his money. Would they welcome him now that he had nothing left to offer? The drive was long, through the city's ever-choked roads, past markets overflowing with people. His fingers tapped against his knee. Would they be shocked? Would they embrace him? Or would they see him as a burden, an embarrassment? When the taxi finally pulled up to the gate of the house, Samuel hesitated. The house was just as grand as he had imagined from the photos his younger brother, Chike, had sent him over the years. The high walls, the gold-painted gate, the paved driveway leading to a 3-story mansion. It was his money that had built this. But was it still his home? Summoning courage, he knocked. The guard, a man he did not recognize, peered at him suspiciously. Yes. Who you they find? I am Samuel Okafor. This is my family home. The guard squinted. Wait. He turned and spoke into a walkie-talkie before signaling Samuel to wait outside. Minutes passed, each second tightening the knot in Samuel's stomach. Then, the gate creaked open, and Chike stepped out. He was taller, more filled out, wearing a crisp kaftan and a gold wristwatch. Samuel forced a smile. Brother. It's been a long time. Chike studied him, his face unreadable. Come inside. The house was even grander inside. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, a massive sitting room where his mother, father, and 2 younger sisters sat. When his mother saw him, she gasped, her hand flying to her chest. Samuel. Mama, he whispered, stepping forward, but she did not move. Neither did his father, who looked down at his hands. The warmth he had hoped for was missing. He sat, explaining everything, the scandal, the loss, the deportation. He watched their expressions shift from shock to discomfort. When he finished, silence filled the room. His mother finally spoke. So, you are back now. With nothing. The words cut deeper than he had expected. I have my family. I thought that would be enough. Chike exchanged glances with their father. You can stay, for a while. But things are different now. We have responsibilities. The house is full. Samuel nodded, his heart sinking. He was a guest in the house he built. Days passed, and the tension never lifted. He saw the hesitation when they spoke to him, the way his presence unsettled them. He overheard whispers, his sisters wondering how long he planned to stay, his father mentioning that he should look for work. The money he had once sent had cemented their loyalty. Without it, he was just another mouth to feed. One evening, he sat outside, staring at the sky. His mother joined him, her hands wringing the edge of her wrapper. "You should think about your next steps, Samuel. Maybe find a way to start over." Samuel swallowed the lump in his throat. "I thought home would be different." She sighed. "Home is where you are needed, my son. Right now, we have done what we can for you. But life moves on." It was then he understood, love, here, had been conditional. As long as he had something to offer, he belonged. Without it, he was just another man, another burden. The next morning, Samuel packed his few belongings. His departure was quiet, no protest, no pleas for him to stay. He walked out of the mansion, past the golden gates, onto the busy street. He was home, and yet, he was a stranger. As he walked away, he realized he had only one choice: to start again. Not for them. Not for their approval. But for himself.